Galenos led our way forward into unknown territory. He needed to find a place far away from the reach of Rome. Pannonia, Dacia, Thrace? No, all of them are too close and have relations with Rome. They will just leak our location to them and it would be over. The Spartans had to reach the one place no Greek had ever walked before. Its name is unknown, but it was clearly recognizable with the harsh winters. The road of exile was worse than anticipated. Galenos led his men through Illyria, our allies, but still, this land was contested with war. The Celtic tribes of the region continuously harassed our lines, with us narrowly escaping disaster because of the sacrifice of our ally. A man like Galenos was exactly what Sparta needed to survive. And still, I feel bad for Akritatus, the actual king. He was around 30 years old, knew how to wield a sword, but with his lack of experience, no one trusted him. Apart from King Areus, but with him gone, he was all alone, needing to decide his own fate. He was such a likable guy as well, charismatic, convincing, and incredibly religious. None of the traits needed for their current circumstances. A disgrace of Spartan blood, or so everyone told him at least. As the army reached the end of Illyrian lands, they tried to make military access pacts with the local tribes to ease their march north. However, their stubbornness and hate towards us Greeks seemed to reject us faster than if I tried to flirt with Athena. Oh, what a tale that would have been. The fast-moving Galenos had left Akritatus behind, forcing him to fend for himself, calling it a trial of strength. Personally, I think he just hoped the wolves would take him, or did he plan something else? A spy of his had found a mighty walled settlement called Budorgis, ruled by a tribe called Lugos. It was the perfect place to rebuild. It was undefended as well. If he could reach it before the local tribes noticed the Spartans' approach, Ares would shine upon us once again. The biggest problem was all these tribes had positive relations with one another. If we declared war on one, the others would most likely move against us too. The Raviski, the ones we trespassed, had also blocked the only bridge across the Danube, threatening to attack Akritatus or Galenos. Neither would be good, especially as the Lucas tribe declared war on the Spartans before they were ready to attack. Now it was officially impossible for Akritatus to reach Galenos, and thus he ordered his men to spread out throughout the land and find their own way back to the main army. For now, Akritatus had disappeared. Galenos, on the other hand, was within striking distance of Budorgis, knowing a massive target was on his back, deep in enemy territory. But in the middle of summer, a nomad group of Sarmatian lancers, as they called themselves, offered their service to us. Looking at the state of the Spartan army, they were rightfully accepted into the ranks of the Greeks. At first, Galenos doubted their value to the army, but gave them the benefit of the doubt, as almost 5,000 Germanic warriors challenged the Spartans for combat. They had formed up in a defensive formation, expecting to repel endless hordes of Germans. However, they were about to get a shock, as they now could see how the Sarmatians fought their battles. Instead of staying back with the main army, they rode forward towards the enemy flank, pulling out their bows to shoot straight into the side of the enemy while on horseback. Galenos had never seen anything like it. Their marksmanship rivaled Apollo himself. Then they lured out the Germanic general to surround him and make a devastating charge from all sides. With him gone, the Sarmatians returned to save Galenos and his struggling hoplites. An easy target as the leaderless army lost all will to fight and fled by the sight of the returning armored horse archers. If there was any doubt before this, it was now gone. Their outstanding skill saved the Spartans. The rest of the Sarmatian nomads, that being the wives of the horse archers, were told to be almost as formidable as their men. With an army of well over 500 horse archers, Galenos had to rethink his battle tactics. Something the masterful Sarmatian commanders were willing to help with. Tales of a crescent formation, hit and run tactics, and much more. Practiced on the garrison of Budorgis, as they foolishly sallied out. The Sarmatians just continued to impress the Spartans, not used to this form of combat. But after hearing the news of the Ari tribe joining the Lugos to repel our incursion, the time to learn had to wait. The cold winter at least gave us some time to prepare for the inevitable counterattack. Although the weather was so rough on the Spartan soldiers, not used to be in the cold, many died of hypothermia. Rumors started to spread among the men whether going this far north was the right decision. Should they just have traveled to Dacia? Regretting the move wouldn't lead anywhere. Now surrounded by hostiles, even further away from reinforcements than when they were in Italy, every move had to be made with utmost careful consideration. With a foothold in unknown territory, a diplomat was sent out to the aggressive and devious Suebos tribe to our west. They were the only known Germanic tribe who still haven't declared war on us. If they did, everything would be lost. We sent gifts their way, ever so slightly improving their opinion of our foreign culture. Although we sent almost 4,000 denarii their way, most of our coins and efforts were used to convert Budorgis into a proper Greek fortress. With the uncertainty of the situation in Greece, it was even renamed the new capital of Sparta, temporarily, until they can return to Greece and save their people. Apart from proper housing, we needed an agora, and most important of all, a temple in honor of the Greeks. This land will be converted to Hellenism either through assimilation or execution. Something they definitely didn't seem to enjoy. If only there was time to improve the situation. But Lugos was on their way with yet another army in an attempt to retake their former capital. This time, bringing horse archers of their own. Ever the heroic warrior, Galenos took every able soldier and constructed a fortification in between a river and a dense forest. If the Germans wanted to attack, they had to go through him first. I will say the man left in charge of the city did an excellent job in easing the population, organizing games and lowering taxes substantially. But with the raging war, it was only a matter of time before the city started to revolt. At least Galenos defeated the Lugos once again, thanks to the Sarmatian horse archers. However, Lugos would just be replaced by the Ari forces. Knowing another major battle now could be devastating, Galenos pulled back to the walls and started patrolling the region. Exactly what we needed to regain the trust of the local tribes. Assurance of their safety made them join the army, slowly replenishing our countless losses. Not fast enough though, as the Areus snuck past our outposts and hit Galenos and his forces for a major battle to decide the fate of Sparta once again. We have been in a situation like this before in Italy, narrowly surviving. But now, we have a powerful weapon. Our Sarmatian allies rushed out to face the Areus, who tried to adapt our new fighting style. Not well enough, as we came out on top strong enough to hunt down the enemy general. He was exposed and thus an easy target. After he was executed, the Sarmatians rapidly returned to the Spartan hoplites, saving the day once again in a heroic victory. Although this battle was won, trouble still seemed to find us. The Areus declared war on us along with the death of the governor of our new capital. Both were kind of expected, yet never wished for. However, to the surprise of Galenos, who now have led the Spartans alone for quite some time, Agiad, the actual king of Sparta, had found his way back. In most situations, people wouldn't have cared of his return. But with the dire state of the army and the lack of a proper administrator, Agiad was given the chance to prove himself. He was tutored by King Areus himself, who also was a masterful statesman. And to the surprise of many, he did a really good job. His charisma and highly religious personality helped spread Hellenism much faster than before, with public order improving drastically. The Spartan army grew larger ever so slightly through the use of light infantry and skirmishers. There was still a major concern in whether the Spartans would declare war on us or not. But if we had to survive this war, the Spartans had to go on the offensive. The only thing slowing them down was a massive Lugas army lingering in the region. But as they retreated back further into their lands, Galenos attacked Belts, knowing they needed allies to survive this current war, and with him being the only proven strategist, he took the decision upon himself to liberate the town. Soon after, he made a trade agreement with their new friends and convinced them to join the war against the Lugas. After that, Galenos secured the north, going through the extreme blizzard to capture a town he renamed after the titan Kronos. There was quite a lot of speculations whether he would succeed or not. But after a costly campaign, he did. Here they acquired the precious amber resource. It was so valuable, the Spartan economy almost exploded substantially. If they captured the port, they could trade this all the way down to Egypt. Imagine the potential. This wealth we currently had would be spent on a smaller, more replaceable Germanic army. It had a backbone of about 600 Spartan hoplites, not to forget the general's 600 bodyguards. Led by Diodorus and Alavas, their job was to liberate the gold mines of Istros. And so they did without breaking a sweat. Agiad was well on his way to stabilize their new home, building a supply pit and temple of Ares in Budorkis, not to forget the muster field along with the farmland in Kronos. This was the strongest the Spartans had been since before the war with Rome. Yet there is much still to be done before we can return home and save Greece. The struggles had just begun.